Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So today I'm doing a couple of quick projects with some seedlings that I have started. The first project that I'm going to do is transplant some of these little eucalyptus seedlings that I have. They're starting to put on multiple sets of leaves, and so it's time to move them up from this tray where I just sewed them all in together to an actual cell tray. I'm going to start fertilizing them, and I want them to be able to have enough room to develop some really good root systems. The second thing I'm going to do in this video is pinch my Snapdragons, and as you will see when I show you my tray, they are so overdue from being pinched. But first, let's go ahead and transplant this eucalyptus. Now this is actually my second batch of eucalyptus that I started. The first batch I started in the same tray, but I made the mistake when I took the humidity dome off, I forgot to turn the heat mat off, and they totally burned up because of the heat. So I re-sowed the seeds, they're looking good, but it's definitely time to transplant them into their own cell trays. Now I am running really short on seed starting trays because of all of the seeds that I have to start. So I'm just going to use this random tray that I have left, and then one of these groups of 18 cells. I do not need this many cells, but this will fit nicely in this tray, and I can just put it back under my grow lights. Now when I started these seeds, I used the regular seed starting mix, but today to pot them up, I'm just going to use a regular potting soil. So I have, let me count how many I have here. 1, 2, 3. So I have 13 good little seedlings that I want to transplant. So I'm going to fill up 13 of these cells with a regular potting mix. So I have 13 cells full. And I'm just going to make a little bit of a hole in each cell where I can put that seedling down in. I did not pre-moisten this mix, but I am going to water them in really good once I have them transplanted. So to take my seedling out of this tray, I'm just going to use a butter knife to loosen the soil around it. I want to be able to protect the roots. I'll do the next one close up so that you guys can see exactly how I'm doing this. But can you guys see that? It has a nice little root system on it. So then I'm just going to put this down in the hole in the cell that I made and bring the potting soil around it. And that's it. The root systems are not being harmed by transplanting these, and these are going to have a lot more room now to develop a bigger root system before they go out into the garden. So I'm going to move the camera up close so you guys can see the detail of this. Okay, so here you can see the holes that I have already made in my cells. So I'm going to take, let's do this one. So I'm just going to take my butter knife and kind of loosen the soil around that seedling. Oh, he's got some really long roots. Oh my gosh, look at that. See, they definitely need to be transplanted. So then if I bring my tray back over here, this can go all the way down. Whoops. I'm just going to put this all the way down in the hole. I want to make sure to tuck those roots all the way in. And then I'm just going to fill in the potting soil around it. I'm going to take some extra from another area. So you want to make sure all the roots are in the soil. And there's 2 of them. So here's another one. That one also has a ton of roots. This cell, I maybe have the soil a little too packed in. That's better. So I'm going to make a big nice hole. It's going to go all the way down in there. And then I'll just fill the soil in around it. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these done, and then I'll show you what they look like in the end. Okay, so here's my 13 transplanted seedlings. Most of them are decent size. There are a couple that are pretty small. I don't know if they'll make it or not, but they actually had some decent roots on them, so I wanted to go ahead and transplant them. So now that these are done, I'm going to go ahead and move these back downstairs under my grow lights. I'm gonna water them in thoroughly, and then now that I have them transplanted and they're getting a couple good sets of leaves, I'm gonna start fertilizing them. I use the Espoma Grow, and I'll put a picture of it up on the screen. I use half strength once a week. I usually do my fertilizing every Sunday morning. So I'm gonna water these in today, which is a Friday, and then starting next week with their regular weekly watering, I'll start using the fertilizer, and I bet I'm gonna see some growth on these pretty quick. So let me set these aside. We're gonna go ahead and start pinching the Snapdragons next. Okay. Check out these Snapdragons. Holy cow. These are happy plants, but boy, do they need pinching. They are really getting some good height on them. Now, I know that they are okay planting-wise out in the garden because this is pretty much to the day exactly last year when I pinched my Snapdragons. So I know I am still fine, but they're getting pretty tall that it is definitely time. Now, the reason that you want to pinch your Snapdragons is because you can really increase your blooms per plant by pinching them. I could definitely let these grow in my garden. They would grow just fine, they would flower, but by pinching them, I'm gonna get probably 5 times the blooms, if not more, than if I did not pinch them. So this process is really simple, and it may seem kind of weird if you've never done it before, like you're hindering the plant. You are not, you're actually helping it. It's probably gonna delay the bloom time by a couple weeks, but it's totally gonna be worth it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in above my first set of true leaves. Now the first set of true leaves are not your first set of leaves on the plant. They are actually the second set of leaves. So you wanna go up above the second set of leaves, and that is where you want to cut. So I'll put a close-up on the screen, but I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna cut all of these seedlings above that first set of true leaves. Now, it may seem like you're cutting a lot of the plant off, which I have let these go a little far, but this is really going to increase your blooms on your Snapdragons. It's gonna make them so much happier. And you can actually see in between the leaves on these plants, they are already starting to branch, which is what they will do now after you pinch them. So the plant is naturally wanting to do it on their own. So I'm just gonna go in on all these plants. See, here's the first set of leaves. This is the second set of leaves, which is the first set of true leaves. I'm gonna cut it all the way here. Whoops. This one does not want to cut. There we go. And then this next one, I'm gonna go in right above those. And I am going to do that and I'm going to do that to all of the plants in this cell tray. All right, so I'm done pinching this tray. Here is all of the green growth that I pinched off of there. And again, I know it might seem drastic, but trust me, this really helps. I did this last year and I had so many Snapdragons blooming all the way through the season. So now that I'm done, these are just gonna go back right downstairs under my grow lights. And I would say even in about a week, I'm gonna start seeing some growth from above the leaves that are left. Like right in the corner between the main stem and that leaf, kind of in, I don't know if you call it the armpit, it's gonna start shooting out leaves, and that's where it's gonna start branching from. You also will see other little branches from the very base of the plant too, which some of these have already started doing that, but now that I have pinched it, they are really gonna take off. And I'm also gonna continue doing my weekly fertilizing. I use that Espoma Grow at half strength every Sunday morning on my seedlings. So these are gonna get another dose this weekend, and they're just gonna keep growing like crazy until they get planted outside, which will hopefully be by the 1st of May. But I'll make sure to keep you guys posted on that. And I should also mention that these are all from the Potomac series, which are one of the tallest Snapdragons, which could be why these were all so tall. I have some other varieties, like the Medium Butterfly, that are not this tall. So you can definitely tell that with just the seedlings, these are a taller variety. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed just seeing a couple of the things that I'm doing with my seedlings this week. Next week, I plan to have a whole seedling tour for you guys to show you everything that is growing, because I've been starting a lot of seeds that I haven't done videos on. I didn't want to get redundant and all my videos were just seed starting. So I'm going to give you guys a tour of the 2 grow areas that I have, and you can see everything that I have started and how it's growing. And then I will update you on what I have left to start for the season. So anyway, stay tuned for all of that. We'll see you soon.